Hey guys, it's Liz from Consumed by Books, and I'm here to share a book haul with you. The first 3 books I have are for review, and they are all from Macmillan. The first one is Boys Don't Knit in Public by T.S. Easton. This comes out in March of 2015, and I'm just going to read you the back of this because I tried to summarize it when I did take one of this video, and it was not pretty. Anyways. After an incident regarding a crossing guard and a bottle of Martini and Rossi, and his bonehead friends, 17-year-old warrior Ben Fletcher must develop his sense of social alignment, take up a hobby, and do some community service to avoid any further probation. He takes a knitting class. It was that or his father's mechanic class, with the impression that it's taught by the hot teacher all the boys like. Turns out, it's not perfect. This one sounds like an entertaining read, so I'm excited to pick it up soon. Next is Let's Be Real, probably the book that I'm most excited about in this entire haul, and that is The Winter's Crime by Marie Rutkowski. This is the sequel to The Winter's Curse. I read The Winter's Curse earlier in 2014 and I freaking loved it. It is gorgeously written, there is an amazing romance, the world is stunning, it deals with slavery in a way that a lot of books do not, and it's just amazing. If you haven't read The Winter's Curse, you need to. And I'm going to reread it before I read this one. And everybody keeps saying that this one is really fast, but also that it's super emotional, and I don't know if there is a way to prepare myself emotionally for what this book has in store for me. I just don't know. And then the last book, which if it's well written will also be very emotional, last book for review anyways, is Cut Me Free by J.R. Johansson. This is about a girl who escapes her abusive parents and she gets an apartment on her own, and then really strange things start happening, like she sees a troubled girl in the park, mysterious letters start arriving at her apartment. So this one sounds like a pretty suspenseful read, and one that's probably going to make me really emotional, maybe even a little paranoid, so we'll see how this goes. This one comes out in January of 2015. The Winter's Curse is out next February or March. It says March right now. Of course, I'm sure that's subject to change. And now I'm going to show you guys books that I bought. The first book I have is a graphic memoir written by Cece Bell, and this is called El Deafo. This is about Cece Bell's experience growing up with hearing loss. And this book is set, I want to say, in the 60s? It doesn't say exactly. Something like that. But basically, she gets meningitis as a really young kid and she loses her hearing. And she has to wear this hearing aid where the parts of it plug into her ears, and then there's a piece that straps to her chest that goes under her clothes. Now, the reason I read this book was because Cece actually came and did a talk at my library. So I checked out a library copy of the book before the event. I loved it. This is an adorable read. It's touching. I hope it's something that readers who have hearing loss can relate to. And I wound up buying the book. And Cece wrote, "Wowee, Liz is astonishing." And I also got to talk to her a little bit, and she is just a fantastic human being. Very nice. So that was really cool. Next up, I went to a launch party for 2 authors who are kind of local to me. The first author is Robin Talley, who wrote Lies We Tell Ourselves. This is about a school that's just kind of ended segregation, if that's the right way to say it. It's now got white students and African American students. I guess desegregation is really probably a better word here. But anyways, a white and a black girl end up working on a school project together and they fall in love. So this is gonna hopefully be a good one. I've heard good things. And Robin signed it. She wrote, "Liz, thanks so much for reading." So there's that. And then the other author who the launch party was for was Caroline Tung Richmond, who wrote The Only Thing to Fear. And the premise of this book is, what if Hitler won World War II? And she wrote, "To Liz, thanks so much for coming. I heard good things about this book, from Angie Manfredi, who is Fat Girl Reading on Twitter or fatgirlreading.com, and she says this is excellent, so I'm excited to give it a try. The next book I bought is something that I have already read and loved and needed a finished copy of, and I actually need to get the sequel of this because it's out by now, but it is Magic Marks the Spot by Caroline B. Carlson. This is the first book in the Very Nearly Honorable League of Pirates series, which is quite a mouthful. This is about a girl named Hillary who goes to etiquette school, and then she runs away to become a pirate. It is a delightful middle grade series. If you haven't read it and you like middle grade or pirates or books that are funny or books that are awesome, then you need to read this book. In summary, everyone needs to read this book. Next up are books from a signing that I was not able to attend, but I decided to order books from because I had heard good things about the series. Actually, I saw quotes from this series posted on Kelly's blog. Kelly is Belle of the Literati, and I was just like, you know what? I need these books. Everyone has been talking about these books. I am going to love them. It is time to take the plunge and get them all. So the first book in this series is The Assassin's Blade by Sarah J. Maas. Actually, this is technically the prequel, but details. And she signed it to Liz, Sarah J. Maas. This is actually a book of, I think, about 5 novellas, so that's pretty exciting. The real first book in this series is Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. Now, the original hardcover of this book was actually a Caucasian girl with blonde hair, and she's holding a dagger and looking all fierce. And I like this cover better. I just think it looks more badass. They released this in paperback, and I had been thinking, okay, well, if I get into this series, am I gonna want to get the original hardcover or get the paperback? Thank you, Bloomsbury, for solving my problem by just re-releasing the hardcover. I do appreciate that. Next up, I got a copy of Crown of Midnight, which is the second book in the series. And these are all signed to me. And I got a copy of Heir of Fire. I love this green cover. And oh my gosh, this book is a beast. It clocks in at 565 pages. That is a lot of book. I think I'm really gonna like them though, so I'm excited to start reading those soon. Let's hope. Next up, I have a book by an author who is actually going to be in DC in November, I believe the Friday before Thanksgiving. She is going to be doing an event with Andrew Smith and Stephanie Perkins, so I'm going to go there. Luckily, I also like this author. It is Gayle Forman, and I bought Just One Year, which I have already read and really enjoyed. I just didn't own a copy, so now I can get this one signed. I have met Gayle before, and she is a fantastic human being. And now I have this book by her. I've got all of her other books signed, so I'm excited to get this one signed as well. And then last, but most certainly not least, that would be the books falling over. This happens sometimes. There you go, books. I have a copy of Quintana of Sharon, and this is by Melina Marchetta. This is the third book in the Lumatere Chronicles, which I am reading and loving. Even though Melina Marchetta made me cry more than once. Yeah, this is a fantasy series, and if you like fantasy and you haven't read these, you need to pick them up. Just be aware that they are very heavy. And they're gonna make you sad. A lot of sad stuff happens in these books, but they are beautifully told because they are written by Melina Marchetta, and I think that you should read them. So that is everything that I have to share with you guys today. Please talk to me about books that you have acquired recently or new releases that you're excited about. And that is all for now. Happy reading, and I will see you next time. Bye!